In this video, I'm going to make a quick master plan for this site here, and I'm going to do it in quite a cheeky manner. So what Giraffe allows you to do, because you're in context, is bring some of the context into Giraffe. And the way you do that is you right-click on it, and then you click on this red button here, and that pulls the data into Giraffe, so I can make that residential. And I'm going to bring in all of this data, making it residential as I go. Sometimes it brings in more data than you need. You just delete the bits you don't want. I'll bring in this, I'll bring in these two, and I'll bring in this. Okay, so this is a very lazy way of doing master planning, obviously. I'm just selecting all the buildings. And basically what I've done is I've selected some buildings that sort of are just down the road, which I know have been approved and which I know have been built. So the shape of them is obviously pretty good. I don't know about the efficiencies, obviously, but we certainly have a bit of an idea. And what I'm just going to do is drag them to our site and use that as the bones for a master plan. Right? So creativity 0, efficiency quite high. And I may change a bit of stuff as we go. I'm just going to need to unselect this stuff. There we go. Okay, so the advantage of this is as I said, we know that these buildings are approvable because they've been approved. I chose ones that look recent. I'm just rotating them to align to our grid, and let's say that's close enough. Okay, and now if we hit T, we've got some buildings on our site, and immediately we've also got areas. So we've got 80,000 square meters, sellable square meters, and 1,100 dwellings, and we can change the mix in terms of 1 bed, 2 bed, 3 beds, and the dwelling sizes. So we may say for us 110 square meters, and that'll change. We've lost a few dwellings, but that's good. So the next thing I'm going to do is build a road just to anchor this little master plan. And I double click there, click road. The width of a road, probably say 16 meters. And the pavement width we'll put 2 for a full sort of road reserve of 20 meters. And I'll give it a 25 meter corner gradient so that we actually get some nice curvature here. Okay, starting to get there. Looks to me like we can probably put another one of these here. Bit tight on the foreshore, so let's delete that. Move this one back, maybe rotate this one. And I think really the only thing left to do before we call the client up and say we're finished is add some landscape. So that's like a nice square park here. I may add a road here. Which brings you to this foreshore, and the road's going to be, this one will be smaller. Let's make this a 12 meter road with a 4 meter pavement width. How about that? So this is sort of a more lower traffic, higher person road. And now we can start playing with some of the other forms. I think these guys up front shouldn't, they're really blocking the view. So maybe we make them four, call it 5, and these guys can be a bit lower, maybe 8, and then I think we're going to chuck a tower on these back guys, so let's make them 4 and 4. We may give these guys a different use. Potentially they could be commercial. Commercial floor plates don't look like this, obviously, so let's square it up. This articulation is a bit much for commercial, but what we can just do is fix it up like this. I'm just removing the points. And then let's put some towers on top. And I'll just draw those towers. So a nice thing Giraffe does is allows you to input dimensions directly. So I typed in 40, and I'm going to get a 40 by 21 meter tower. And I click to finish that command. I'm going to call it residential. I'm going to make sure the stack order is high. And let's call these 22 story towers. And maybe what we can do is sort of orient them to the north. Maybe we can do something kind of fun. Let's like sort of stagger them, spin them slowly so they have this sort of relationship to each other that's a bit looser. I like towers to be a bit loose. Nice grid on the ground, but towers to be a bit loose. And then I think we can chuck a bit of height on this guy and sort of maybe pop a bit of height off this guy so we get some sort of interesting skyline. Finally, let's add a park. I won't add all the landscaping and paths through the park, but certainly let's at least, oops, sorry, residential, it's a bit much. Let's at least indicate that there's some green space there. Okay, you know, incomplete, but relatively good. Very, very data rich. We sort of understand the dwellings, the costs, and a whole bunch of things. And what we can do is look at it in 3D. And I was just wondering if I'd crashed my graphics card there, but it looks good. So I'll turn on the satellite. And we can now experience what it's like to be in our development. And I can immediately see, like just from getting down to street level, these two are a bit dominant. This is starting to be quite nice. You know, this sort of interesting form rising up as you walk along this path. It looks really, really good. So we probably just need to fix those guys. But as a start, pretty good, I think.